Good evening, everybody. It's Suzanne Shirley here, and we are going to start with Millionaire by Halftime. And we are on chapters 7 and 8 on this call, and we're talking about, in chapter 7, hard work and perseverance. And then chapter 8, and by the way, I've already prepared all the way through the end of 10 to teach them, so because I'm going to be gone this weekend. So chapter 7 is hard work and perseverance. Chapter 8 is start now. So we're going to talk about those two topics in detail and unpack the chapters as we always do. So let's get started. Presley Swagerty talks about that hard work and perseverance literally pay off if you buy into hard work and perseverance. So I'm going to read Theodore Roosevelt's quote. This was in the 21 Laws of Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And I thought that was an incredible quote about Theodore Roosevelt. Or it's his quote, actually. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbled or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, that means fails, right? Who errs and comes up short again and again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause. I love that part, spends himself, literally spends out his life, spends out his time, just completely puts himself, gives himself over emotionally, spiritually, and mentally to the cause. Who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat. And if you ask me, a person who knows neither victory nor defeat is living a very mediocre life, comfortable life, but is not going to get very far. I have to say that because it's the truth. He talks about the story of the two lunch boxes, which I'm not going to read, but the gist of it is that there's two men. And one man has a BLT, and he opens it up at lunch, and he says, "Oh, I'm so happy. I love this BLT," right? And then the other guy, guy number 2, has a PBJ, and he opens it up, and he's angry, and he's like, "No, peanut butter and jelly? What is the deal with this? I don't like peanut butter and jelly." The problem is, though, or the fact is of the matter, they both packed their own lunches. What does that tell you? I mean, we are responsible for where we are at in our lives, where we're at in our business, where we are at in our personal growth and development. We can't blame anybody else, and we can sit there and get mad all we want, but the fact is we pack our own lunches. We do, in Plexus and in life. So the good news is, though, we can change. We can change that position, but that position change is literally up to us. If we're going to make the changes, we have to do it. So from this simple story, we're reminded that you and I are each responsible for our own lives, and that you and I pack our own lunches. We're reminded that the current situation, whatever's inside of our lunchbox, is a result of the thoughts and actions that we've taken up to this time. So if you have new thoughts, then you're going to have new actions. And when you put hard work with that and perseverance with that, you're going to see change. So let's talk about that again. New thoughts are going to breed new actions. And then you put hard work and perseverance in the mix, and you're going to change. You're going to move up. You're going to accelerate. You're going to achieve a higher level of success. You're going to gain some speed. You're going to finally, when you dig in, it's going to hit some rubber. You're going to get some traction, right? So To be successful requires action. Hard work is the basic building block of success. Without hard work, everything else is pointless. And I think that every single person's face that I saw on the screen before we started tonight, I can say right now, I know for a fact that every single one of you works very, very, very hard. Very hard. Okay. I think we need to work on some dreams. I think we need to work on learning how to set some goals. Okay. But as far as hard work goes, you got that down. Now, what about new thoughts? I think we can always come up with some better thoughts, because those thoughts that we have, that's going to control what we do. Okay. And it's going to control whether we're successful or not. So always we can work on some things, right? Preaching to self. I always do that, right? So hard work is not always fun. I'll never forget standing in my classroom, guys, I would become exasperated on an hourly basis, sometimes 20 times within an hour. I would become exasperated with my students because I am the epitome of hard work. I am the epitome of passion. I am the epitome of dedication. I'm the epitome of belief, and I'm the epitome of punctuality and relentlessness and digging and learning and all of that stuff. And my students were just sitting there, and they did not care about hardly anything I was teaching them. After months of really showing them who I was, showing them some of my soul, being a real person, they bought into me finally. They bought into me, and they started to listen to me at least and buy into most of the things I was teaching them. But that didn't mean they're going to work hard. No, none of them really worked hard. In fact, even the A students, they were so lazy too, and after a while as a teacher, after even a short time, I'm in the middle of sentences, I'm talking and I'm teaching and I'm moving around. I'm in the middle of a lesson, and I'm at the back of my mind, I'm saying, just get through this hour. Just get through the hour. I'm telling you this because I've been there. I've worked with groups of people, large groups of people who are not motivated, who do not have any kind of work ethic. A lot of them had the right parents, but it's the society that we live in today. People just expect things to be easy. They just expect things to just drop into their laps. And it didn't matter how many speeches I gave. It didn't matter what kind of an example I set. It didn't matter how many incentives I gave them. Nothing could incentivize them or get them to work hard. And it was very discouraging. And it became worse year after year after year. I saw the degradation, the decrease of passion or working hard. The types of students. Now, why am I giving you that point? I don't know. I don't know why I'm telling you that point, but I remembered working with people that don't want something, but yet being put in a position to where my number one task was to try to get them to want something, get them to work at something, get them to believe in something. And it is exhausting. So I guess the thing that I'm going to come out of it, which is not even in this chapter, but I'll just say this: don't work so hard for people that don't want something. Go and work with the people that want something, people that want to work, people that have the ethic, the work ethic, the passion, the drive, the dream. It's not in this chapter. So I kind of really chased a rabbit here, but it is literally, that's one of the things that depleted my soul in teaching, is that it was my paycheck that I had to be paid. And my number one objective was try to inspire groups of students that did not want to be inspired, that did not want to listen, that did not want to work, and drag them through the educational process. It was just absolutely brutal. One of the things I just am not missing. Not missing that. Okay, so hard work is not always fun. I gave many speeches on that. It's not always fun. You got to do all the small things in order to get to the place where you're doing the things that you love, right? So where you're paid for it. That's why it's called hard work. The harder I work, the luckier I get, says Presley Swagerty. And that's like a quote that's out there too. We create our success with effort. It's not about special ability. It's about action. So here's what else you got to have. Some discipline. Discipline is doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or you don't. Can't tell you how many speeches I gave on these things here. I'm telling you, I cannot count how many speeches I must have given on these principles right here. And they fell on deaf ears, except for maybe 2 or 3 people in about 23 years, maybe, if I'm lucky. Do the hard tasks first. If you've got a bunch of tasks that you've got to get done, first of all, prioritize them and which ones need to be done first. In order to do this one, you got to do this one first. So prioritize, right? We always do that. But then do the hard stuff first. Get that out of the way. If you know you've got the hardest thing, I remember when I was grading papers, the hardest thing that took the most time was essays. And because there were so many massive grammatical errors, syntax errors, word usage, you name it, it was just off the charts. And that took the longest, the most grueling time. And so I said, we're going to knock these out first. And then when we're finished with that, then we can do the fluff over here. So get the hard stuff done first. Okay, in network marketing terms, that would be reach. Okay, what's hard? For a lot of us, it's the comfort zone. The comfort zone, right? I got to talk to these people that I'm so afraid to talk to them. Well, get that over with first. Go ahead and do it first. Do the hard stuff first. Get it behind you. Okay? Good habits create discipline. And it's impossible to achieve success without having discipline. If you're not disciplined, you'll not be successful. And I mean it. You're going to have to find that discipline. What it defines discipline? Well, daily success on a daily basis. We're doing the small things. And I always told my students, we're showing up to class on time. We've got our materials. We are prepared for the lesson. We have our materials on our desk, prepared to learn. We have the chapters have been read. The notes have been taken. You are ready to offer an idea and engage in a discussion. Those are the things that, you have your homework ready to be turned in. The daily things. It's the little things that we do over and over and over and over again. I'm not talking to students here, obviously, but the same principle applies to network marketing. We do the same things over and over and over again, and until we get to where we want to go. And those are called successes, by the way, because I wrote down here, and it's not in the book. Success is not a destination. I want you to consider that for a moment. Now, I didn't get that from my head. Guess where I got it from? I got it from John Maxwell. I remember it. Success is not a destination, guys. You are already a success. Okay, so you need to look at yourself that way. You are already a success when you start a task. Okay, what makes you more successful is by doing those hard tasks every single day, stepping outside of your comfort zone, working hard, being relentless, showing dedication, discipline, perseverance. Those lead to a higher level of success. But I want you to understand and really claim it, that you are already successful. I'm going to speak about my own self here because it's what I do. When I started off day one with a computer and a Wi-Fi and a phone and a list with no paycheck, no testimony, no products yet. I didn't even get my welcome pack. I started sharing. What did I believe about myself? I believed that I was already successful. I believed in my soul, in my heart, in my mind, that it was just a matter of time. All I had to do was do these things that Christine had been doing over here. Just don't reinvent the wheel. Just get it done. Let's get this thing done. I just was 8 or 9 months behind her. It's taken me longer to get to where she's at, but you know what? It doesn't even matter to me. The fact is I want to get where she's at. That's the whole point. Is the fact that we get there. It's not how long it takes, but my point in saying that success is here. You have to believe that you're a success already. And where you go is, and what you do every single day just makes you more successful. Okay, so start off day one believing that you're already a success, that you already have it done, even though you haven't done all the things that you need to do, but that you know you're going to get them done. That's my advice to you. Okay, effort equals success. Hard work equals luck, right? When you work hard, you're just going to start getting lucky, right? You can't help it. And you're going to be having a lot more fortune come your way and a lot more opportunity. Okay. Here's an educational philosophy that he mentions. I always bring it back to education because that's my profession. That's what I've done my whole life. Work with the end in mind. And we always, in every advanced placement course that I taught, every advanced Spanish class that I ever taught, I always started with my students. I said, we are going to begin with the end in mind. You begin with the end in mind. In other words, you take a look at where you're going to go. That top bar, that goal right over there, and you start with that in your head. That is where you're going. You don't start down here and figure out where the end is going to be someday. You begin with the end in mind. And by doing so, what you're doing is you're setting the standard very high. You're setting the bar very high, and you're going to shoot for the moon. And that way, if you miss the moon, and I think I've said this many different times in different chats that we've had, but if you shoot for the moon and you miss it, you're going to get a lot higher and farther than you would have had you not shot for the moon. So he gives an example of the 3 bricklayers, which I won't read, but the basic idea is that one guy, he says, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm laying bricks. Guy number 1, right? So the man goes over to the next guy and says, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm building a wall. Well, that's great, I guess. Well, what are you doing to guy number 3? Well, I'm building a cathedral. Building a cathedral. Well, what happens if you're building a cathedral as opposed to just laying bricks? My question to you is this. Are you building a cathedral? Or are you just laying bricks? I mean, we really need to answer that question. Because there is no use in just laying bricks. It's pointless. Gets you nowhere. You have to begin with the end in mind. And you have to have that end right there in your head. Okay. What about me? All right, over here, I'm building a cathedral. And then after that, I'm going to build another couple of cathedrals. And we're going to build another one after that. And maybe we'll build like a whole city of cathedrals. That's what I want to do. I'm talking really big right there, aren't I? Achievers seem to love what they do. They're in love with it. They're passionate about it. The third man was so much more excited, driven, and happy in his work. Because he wasn't just laying around, laying some bricks. He was building this grand cathedral. He was focused on the big picture, which is the end result. When you work with passion and enthusiasm, when you have the end result in mind, you know what? You're unstoppable. You're happy. You're excited. You're enthusiastic. You're relentless. It just all kind of builds together, right? So it starts to not feel like work. And I will say that about teaching because I loved it so much. And just talking about it makes me remember all the things I did love about it. When you love what you're doing, it's not working, right? And when you begin with the end in mind, you are adding to your level of enthusiasm and excitement. So when you actually believe that you're changing your life and the lives of your family, and you're offering hope as opposed to, hey, I'm just making some phone calls here. I'm just going to make some phone calls. Oh my gosh, how boring, how uninspiring that is. Whereas, hey, I'm offering hope and an opportunity to my friends and family. Now that is creating a cathedral, building a cathedral. But if you're just going to sit down and I'm just going to make some phone calls here, that just is, that you're laying bricks doing that. So these beliefs make it a pleasure to do your work. If the vision is clear, the price is easy to pay. Sit on that one for a moment. It's a big, big thought. If your vision is clear, the price is easy. And you will pay it. You will do whatever it takes to pay it. Tie this idea into writing down your goals. And I bet you can now see why writing your goals down is so important, and why having a vision board or a dream board of pictures of the things that you want on a refrigerator or wherever you have it is so crucial to do. Right? With our compelling vision in mind, we will pay whatever the price may be. If we are being helped or pulled toward our goals like a magnet, and we are willing to pay the price. When you keep the end in mind, your work is easier, it's more enjoyable, you're pulled towards your goals like a magnet, you're enthusiastic, you're ready to do it, the price is easy, and you will pay it. There you go. So keep the end in mind and be compelled to pay that price. Okay, let's talk about lowering the target versus increasing the activity. Okay, so here's a good time to warn you what not to do, says Presley Swagerty. And I wrote, wow. Wow, this is so true. Imagine this in your mind. Think about this. In daily life, the people that you run into, most people do this. They set their goal first. They do their hard work second. Number 3, they face some setbacks and some difficulties. And then number 4, they either quit or they lower their target. Wow. Set your goals first. Just set some goals. Oh, I think I want to bring home $1,000 a month. Set a goal. I think I'll do that. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to go out and make some phone calls, get on the internet and connect with some people. Oh, well, I'm facing some difficulties and some hard times here. So guess what? Doesn't work very well. So I'm going to just quit. Or I'm going to just say, well, I guess I won't be making that $1,000. Maybe I'm going to have to just be lucky to get my products paid for. How common is that? Do we hear that a lot? Yes, we hear it all the time. People do not start with the end in mind. They don't have a dream. They don't have why. They just don't understand the reason they have got to have that why. That why that makes you cry is the thing that's going to compel you and make you pay the price when you hit the difficulties. But if all you're doing is setting a goal is not a why. A goal is not a why. He gives an example of this guy named John. This is what most people do, okay? So here's, like in layman's terms, here's an example. I'm going to read it because it's important. Let's say John joins a network marketing company and decides that he wants to earn $2,000 a month, like I just said. Let's just make $1,000 a month. Part-time, right? $2,000 a month part-time. After a few weeks of getting some rejection from his friends and family, John decides that instead of $2,000 a month, he'd be happy, with just $500 a month from his new part-time network marketing business. What does John do? Well, he lowered his target. He settled. He backed down from his dream. I don't even think he had one, actually. He went from a compelling initial dream of $2,000 a month to settling for scraps, $500 a month. Wow. I see that all over the place. Even people that I intentionally am reaching out to and say, hey, okay, so if you relate to this, sister friends, high five on that, right? People that I personally sponsor into the business who say, I'm excited, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. I've watched you for a year. I'm ready to go. You are so amazing. Let's get this going. And then you try to call them. They don't answer the phone. You try to get on a text. They don't answer you back. What the heck? You told me you're excited. Hey, you don't even know what the comp plan is. You don't even know anything. And they can't even answer a call. They can't answer a text. You are willing to go out of your way to have breakfast with them and drive out of state or out of town or whatever, if they're, to where you're going. And I'm giving you one because that's what's going on with one of mine right now. And if she's watching, love ya. I don't know what else to say. Good, you're watching. You need to be watching, girlfriend. I'm sorry. Boom, you caught me. I'm talking about one of my girls. But I'll tell you what, that's what happens, Not everybody's going to come on and say, oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. I mean, they're excited in the beginning, but then sometimes that excitement wears off. They become afraid. They don't know exactly if they're going to make it or not. So I gave you that example. Okay, the second option, so it's the first guy that just lowers the bar, right? Just lowers his standards down. The second option is that few consider, is that to increase your activity. So if you've got some setbacks and some difficulties, how about thinking about increasing your activity? I remember the famous Angela Heyman, and I know she's listening tonight, at one point in her desire to get ahead. And she said, what I've been doing is not working. I'm not getting some traction here with the number of people I've been reaching out to. So guess what? I'm not happy with the results. I'm going to increase the activity. So she started talking to more people every single day. Just started reaching out to more people, getting on garage sale posts and doing all her thing, just more and more and more of it. Instead of just staying where she's at, expecting that new result, it didn't happen for her. She increased her activity. So that would be the thing that most people underestimate, that they underestimate in life, that if you will just work harder, that you can actually get someplace. They underestimate what it takes to win. They think it's going to be a lot easier. They sign up, they think, hey, this is going to be follow the yellow brick road, and we're down in Oz right now, like tomorrow, next day, maybe in a couple of weeks. If I'm not diamond, I'm not happy, So the fact is you need to increase your activity. All right, so another example to increase your activity. Imagine that Joe wants to sponsor 2 new associates per month. So when setting a goal, he estimated that 1 out of 3 would say yes to his business. But after presenting for a few months, Joe realizes he's only getting 1 of 6 to sign up. So rather than lowering his target and giving up on his dream, he simply needs to increase his activity and accept that only 1 in 6 will sign up. Actually, it's like 1 in 10, I think, if you're lucky. So Joe now decides that he'll find a way to show 12 people a month so he can achieve his goal, right? So in summary, do not settle by lowering your target. That's what everybody does. Instead, do what the winners do. Find ways to increase your activity to achieve your dreams. Okay, let's track our actions, not our intentions. That's the next section. Track your actions. This is what Angela does, and she writes it down. She calls it her lines. I hear her say it all the time to me. My lines are the boss of me. My lines are the boss of me. She holds up her calendar, and on her calendar, she's got, right? We all understand this concept. Pretend this is a day on a calendar. Well, it's like 15 or 20 lines, right? And she will literally fill up the lines with follow-ups and reach outs and all kinds of other things that she's doing. She's got to fill up the lines before the day is over. And she just found a bigger calendar that had more lines on it, and that's when she upped her actions. So actions don't often match our intentions, and that means we're going to have a lack of progress if we do that. The great, in the game of work, Charles Kuhnrat says, feedback is the breakfast of champions. When you can get some feedback, you know where you're at in the progress of it. All winners are trackers, says this guy, Charles. Okay, all winners are trackers. They track what they're doing in their progress. Randy Hedge says, track activity, not intentions. Okay, it's an important concept. Everybody wakes up with the greatest intentions. I'm going to make 10 calls. I'm going to talk to my neighbors. I'm going to give out brochures to my coworkers. And then we get to work and the day progresses. What do? We don't match those intentions. We get sidetracked. We're doing other things. So the reason that we lack for progress is because we are tracking intentions and we're not tracking our actions. Okay? If you're to track your actions, not your intentions, then you wouldn't have a reason for failure. The reason for failure is very apparent if you track your actions. You'll go, okay, I'm not doing enough action here. I need to do some more actions. So what do you track? You need to know what to track. What activities do you track? How many appointments did I set this week? How many appointments did I set this week? Number 2, how many times did I show a business plan this week? Talk about the products to a new person or talk about the business to a new person. Number 3, how many new potential customers did I talk to this week? Okay, so buy the products, obviously. Okay, get this. The only things that pay in network marketing are income producing activities. Wow, that's a genius statement, right? The scrolling Facebook's not going to pay your bills. It's not going to do it. I could think of some team building activities that are not going to pay bills either. Thinking of new activities for the team to do. I've been notorious about doing some of that. Thinking about new ways that we can do things and plug in people and things like that. Now, you might think that that's income producing. And yes, that's planning a vision down the road and whatnot. But I need to be personally sponsoring. So my new goal, instead of just kind of doing that 10 or 15 to 20% of what I was doing, was personally sponsoring the whole year this last year I was teaching. I'm doing that 50, 60, 70% now. I am like, okay, team building, small, large percentage of the time I'm going to be doing personally sponsoring. I'm going to be getting out there rubbing, rubber hitting the road, getting some traction, talking to new people every day. I just talked to somebody today. Very, 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 I have to say, okay, I even called Angela and I told her, guess what, girl? I found a comfort zone. Oh, I found a comfort zone. Yep. There's a girl that I have been talking to already. And she told me no in a very polite way. Let's see, probably 6 months ago, at least. And I've just been dying to think of a new reason to talk to her. And, because she's already politely said no to me. Very influential, highly influential. If I said a lot of details, if she would be watching, she would figure it out. But I just would rather not do that. Very influential, a big person, as in big ideas, world-changing type of a person. Love her integrity, love her passion, everything. I want that girl on my team. I want to work with her. I want to choose her. I want to pluck her out, have her do what I'm doing, and help her get to where she wants in her life, because I know she has huge dreams. I just reached out to her again today with voice text. You want to know what I did? I did this. Watch. Okay. Hey, such and such. You know what? This is Suzanne. I have just been reading this book that I'm going to be doing with my team. And this chapter just reminded me so much of you. And you know what? I have just been waiting to figure out a reason to talk to you again. But guess what? I'm tired of waiting. This is a good time as ever, right? I'm telling you something and I just laid it out. This is the greatest thing in the world. You absolutely have no idea what this is. It's not just any other kind of network marketing company. In fact, just take network marketing off the platter. This company, pretend that when you look up the word plexus in the dictionary, that it says life-changing company. Life-changing everything. This is a world changer. This is a game changer. And I said, you are a game changer. You're a world changer. You define yourself as that. You advertise that on your Facebook. You know what? You would do amazing with this. And it is just a vehicle to get where you want to go, so that you can do that world changing thing that you talk about all the time on Facebook, that you dedicate yourself 70 hours to every week. It's a big nonprofit. She's amazing. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. I don't even know how much of a paycheck she makes. I think she takes a very little paycheck. She's so passionate. She gives of herself. But here's the thing. Oh my gosh. And guess what? I get lunch with her next week. I'm so excited. Now, here's the thing. She says, Suzanne, you know how I love you, and I'm so happy for you that this has changed your life, but I am so not interested in selling anything. See, she didn't have an idea. We don't sell, do we? And she doesn't have a clue. She just doesn't. And she's like, but if you want to come and tell me about what's going on in your life and how it's changed your life and those parameters, I can't wait to hear about it, because you're an amazing person, and I want to hear all about your life. And I would love to share with you what I do. And I said, great, because I would love to hear what you do too. And can't you imagine? Here's what I'm going to do. You ready? Here's what I'm going to do. My goal is to get my foot in the door just a little bit. And because I don't think she's going to join me. I'm not taking any of all my stuff. I'm not going to carry it in there. Here's your catalog. Here's you a brochure. Here's this. No, here's the comp plan. No, we're not doing that. Just talk. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to say anything about myself. Not one thing. I'm going to start asking her questions. Tell me about your life. Oh my gosh, I saw that you got married a couple of years ago. Now, where did you meet him? Oh my word. I mean, he seems like the most incredible person. Well, so what does he do for a living? Great. Oh my gosh. So now tell me about your business. Tell me about this incredible thing that you do. I'm like, what gave you the idea? I mean, where'd you get your vision? How did you get that started? You know, what propels you every day to do what you're doing? Tell me some of the lives that have been changed. I want to hear about that. So who are the people that you have working with you? So how did you decide that? And just ask questions. Nothing about me, not a thing about me, not one thing. And if she never asks about me, oh, well, I'm okay. I am not there to tell her about Plexus. Guess what I'm doing? Loving her, showing her I love her and that I care about her, because I do. I freaking do. And then when she talks to me, she will, because she loves people. She will ask me, so tell me what you've been doing. You just walked away from school. You just walked away from teaching. And that's when I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell her my story. And I'm going to tell her how I was so against it and how I fought it off and how I didn't think it was God's will. And I fought God on it. And like, Lord, do you want me to do this? God, what's going on here? You know, are you really having me do this network marketing thing? This seems like such a hooky thing to do. And you know, I'm going to tell her that. Then I'm going to tell her Chris and Susie's story and how they just stumbled across this thing and how they were just broker than broke way before that in the real estate industry. And they owned a business and they weren't doing very well. And they had all these kids that were going to college and they didn't know how they were going to pay their bills. And they just stumbled across it and it started changing all these lives. And then I'm going to tell Christine's story. You know, that's what we do, guys. We tell ours and two more. Ours and two more. You know, we tell stories. We do not tell facts. I'm not going to sit there and talk about the history of the company and the fact that we have all these ingredients that are, you know, laboratory tested. I'm not going to talk about the products and this is what this one does and blah, blah, blah. Story, 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 story. But I'm going to ask her she's going to have to get it all out first. And if I never talk, then I never talk. Okay, now I chased a massive rabbit, but I'm telling you that's how you prospect people. You go and find two people that you are crazy scared to talk to, and you share your heart. You just lay it out there and say to yourself, look, if they don't answer my text, what do I have to lose? Nothing. But what do you have to gain? Everything. You have everything to gain, right? Okay, I will tell you two little tidbits that came out of Kristen Abart's little speech to the Rubies and Senior Rubies. She said this, two things. She said Lori Welch, which is a diamond ambassador at the time when Kristen Abart started, and by the way, the Abarts have like tons of diamonds underneath them. When Lori Welch sponsored her into the business, she says, okay, you're going to do two things and two things only. I don't care how you get it done. Just get these two things. Just do these two things. What? What are the two things? Number one, get the products in people's hands. I don't care how you do it. Just get it in their hands. Number two, go talk to every influential person you know. And if they say no, you put the products in their hands too. And if they keep saying no, I don't care. You just give them the products. You get the products in their hands. So those two things, products in the hand. Number two, all the influential people you know. And if they say no, give them the products anyway. Just get the products in their hand. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to leave there, and she's going to have a sample, and I'm going to tell her how to take it. That's the only Plexus thing I'm going to give her, a sample, a 7-day trial. If I could, I'd give her a 30-day, but I think that's overdoing it, right? Okay, I have completely chased a rabbit. Okay, I am so excited about that. I just can't, and it might come from, nothing might come from that. I mean, literally, I am going into this knowing that she may never join my team. Ever, like ever. It doesn't matter. I'm planting a massive seed. She's going to have an interview with me where I'm going to get to pour my love of this thing we've joined, right, into her. She's going to know what it is. Okay, moving on. All right. Oh my gosh. I have lost my train of thought. Okay, good intentions do not pay your mortgage. I'm going to get past this stuff. Stay focused on the activity, not the intentions. Tracking your feedback is going to give you progress. So you're tracking your actions. It gives you some feedback, and therefore you're going to know how far you've come. He gives an example about this guy, Roger Festa, which I don't know if I want to read all this. Okay, here's what he did every day. He focused on getting as many things accomplished. He made a list. Okay, he made a list every single night before he went to bed of the things he wanted to get accomplished. And he focused on getting as many things accomplished as he could each day and needed his list. I can't read this. Get as many things accomplished as he could each day and needed his list so he did not get off track and forget the priorities he had set for himself. I got so excited about my friend, I can't even read. Okay, so Roger always had his list of income-producing activities as his highest priority. That's the first thing on his list. Having been an entrepreneur for all of his life, he knew that no one was going to send him a check unless he put the effort in to make it happen. Roger did not believe in the entitlement world that we live in today. He was willing to work hard under the success model that where he was rewarded for what he did. And Roger wanted to change the think tank philosophy into the do tank. So instead of sitting around thinking about it, do something, right? Gosh, how many months did I think about how to contact her again? What should I say? I've already said everything I can say. Passionate plea. That's what I did. Passion, passion, passion. Find it somewhere. Okay. Coach's success tip. Procrastination is the biggest stealer of dreams. Okay. You guys, you know what? We can do a lot more than what we think we can. A lot more. I'll give you some examples. Team USA, 1980 U.S. hockey team, coached by Herb Brooks in the 1980 Winter Olympics on February 22nd, 1980. They won against the USSR. The Red Machine. There was a Disney movie. I got it right here. Take a look. Miracle. Miracle on Ice. This right here, if you have not watched this, you need to go watch it. I'll tell you what, talk about inspirational. Wow. Talk about hard work. Talk about relentless. Talk about perseverance. Never giving up. Barfing your guts up and doing it again. I remember Herb Brooks said in the movie, do it again and again and again and again. And they didn't know why. They didn't just do it again and again and again. He had a relentless attention to preparation. The idea that a bunch of wannabes had even a remote chance to knock off these disciplined athletes from the Soviet Union seemed wishful thinking at best. Even so, Brooks was undeterred. He spent over a year building his team, sifted and sorted through all these hundreds of people to be on the team. He finally focused on what he knew best, preparation and hard work. He drilled that team for hours on end, speed and conditioning. Decided to outwork and be more mentally tough than his competition. So outwork the competition. Wow. The team was vastly disciplined. He decided he was teaching his team to capitalize on opportunities also that came their way. I big underline with this one. He constantly reminded them that they were tough enough and good enough to accomplish what most said was impossible. He reminded them over and over again that they must believe in themselves and each other. He instilled in them a winning attitude and the belief that they could accomplish winning the Olympic gold medal. Al Michaels proclaimed, the announcer, 11 seconds, you've got 10 seconds. The countdown is going on right now. 5 seconds left of the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! And they won. The miracle on ice. The miracle on ice. Do you know that I have? Ask my husband. I can't play sports hardly. I mean, I never did. I was a fat girl when I was in high school. But I tell you what, I love working out now. And I have over here in my cabinet 2 whole entire shelves of DVDs of nothing but these kinds of movies. And I mean it. I'm like a voyeur for success. Can you imagine this teacher who is feeling like she was trapped in a room where she couldn't get out and there was nothing else better she could do? And I know that I'm putting myself down, but that's just how I felt, okay? I know people say that you change lives in a classroom. I get that, but I just felt that way. But yet all the time I dreamed of doing something massive like this, being on the field of life. And I didn't realize that, I knew I was on the field of life, but I always wanted to be in the game. Can you just put me in the game? I couldn't wear the jersey. I'm a woman. I can't play on a football field, but I wanted to so bad. I finally feel like I have something that I can play with. I'm on the actual field of life with this thing. So victory would not have been possible without sheer determination, belief, and total commitment. It is amazing that we can accomplish what we can accomplish when we make a commitment. I believe that once we make the decision and reinforce that decision by taking action consistently and deliberately for the period of time, anything is possible, guys. Anything is possible. Look, I love this t-shirt. I got it right here, ready to show you. Look at this. Impossible is nothing. Yes, my favorite team, Michigan. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I cry watching their games, right? This is my favorite Michigan t-shirt. Ask my husband. Because impossibility is nothing. You look at things and you say, that's impossible? No, it's not. It's nothing. Let's do this. We can do it. That's the mentality you have to have. Great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. Samuel Johnson. Perseverance is, I'm going to go faster. Perseverance is refusing to give up, refusing to quit. Perseverance makes you great and enables you to perform at your highest level and reach your dreams. Perseverance allows you to raise the bar and then establish the steps necessary to reach new heights. Perseverance is the critical factor in your networking success. All other traits can be acquired. Oh boy, let's hear that again. Perseverance is the one critical factor in your networking success. All other traits can be acquired or learned within time. However, unless you persevere through every obstacle, you will never have a chance to achieve financial freedom. That's why I was so desperate sitting in front of my students on a daily and hourly basis trying to teach them perseverance. You can't teach perseverance. You can't teach self-motivation. You cannot do it. It's got to come from within. Now, you can teach them to do other skills, but the perseverance has to come from within. And they didn't have it. They just didn't have it. I don't care how hard it gets. Never quit. Never give up. Don't go around saying, why not? Don't go around saying, why me? I think that was in the last chapter too. Go around saying, why not me? Why not me? Why can't I just do this? Everyone else is doing it. Why can't I do it too? Absolutely. That's the attitude to take. When things are not going your way, it's easy to say, well, why me? Why is this happening to me? But the better question is, why not me? Why can't I just go ahead and be that success? Why not me? Networking is our chance to change our lives. I don't care how hard it gets. Never give up. Never give in. Never quit. Remember, pain is temporary, says the coach. Pain is temporary. Quitting is forever. I bet every player hears that on the field. Okay? We must attempt the impossible to achieve all that we can be. We must attempt the impossible. And by the way, I just want to say go blue. Okay, I'm over on page 66. The homework is so incredible. He talks about, you just finished this chapter talking about having a big dream, a vision for your future. If your vision is clear and compelling, then you'll gladly pay the price. This exercise will help you with this process. Moreover, this exercise can change your life. Well, why not do it, right? Grab a sheet of paper, in the large bold letters, write what I want. Next to this, write down a specific goal that you have. This could be anything, a specific income, a rank promotion, a dream home, a car that you desire, a better relationship, anything at all. Whatever it is, make sure that it's clear and write it in bold letters. An example of what I want, a promotion to executive director in my company, or emerald in this case, or whatever the level may be. Next, on the same piece of paper, underneath what you just wrote, write, the price I will gladly pay. Ooh. Boy, that one's the clincher. You got to have to define the price you're going to gladly pay. Below that header, write out this bullet list of the points that you're going to, what it's going to take to get done what you're wanting to do, to pay this price to get this thing that you want. Okay, he gives some examples. Guess what? I wrote my examples over here. His examples are sacrifice every lunch break I have to meet with one person. Turn off the radio during my commute home so I can call 2 people. Wake up 15 minutes earlier and read 10 pages out of a good book. Drop the bowling league for 12 months and spend those Thursday nights building my future. What did I have? Get up an hour earlier. Work my lunch break. Cut corners at school but still maintain integrity. How do you do that? Exchange papers more in class. I hate to say it, but that's what I started to do, and I had never done that in 20-something years. Create less grading for myself. Delegate some responsibilities to some class leaders. Work on the weekends, all weekend. Go to bed later. My husband was never happy. He got used to me not going to bed with him. He just did, and he's excited when I do go to bed at a decent time. Finally, decide now that you'll pay the price. You've written out clearly what you want. You know the price it's going to take. So now you just got to commit to it. Decide now that you will gladly pay the price because you know what it is that you want. Repeat these 3 steps for a second or even a third goal that you might have. But doing this just for your primary number 1 goal oftentimes is enough to turn your entire life around drastically. So write down what you want and what price you will pay to get there. And make a list of those things that you're going to do to pay that price. I challenge you. Guys, that's on my mirror in my bathroom. It's still in there. All these things that I decided to do, it's on my bathroom mirror. It still is. It is. Just being honest with you. Get that stuff up where you can see it. Okay, we're going to go on to chapter 8. I'm going to try to get through this one. Oh, my word, I have talked so long. I chased so many rabbits. Oh, my gosh. It's an hour. Right? Yes. God have mercy. Start now. If we don't start, it's certain that we cannot arrive, says Zig Ziglar. The scariest moment is always just before you start. Stephen King. You're going to learn from all the people of walks of life how to succeed in network marketing in this profession. The ideas in this book, combined with your personal diligence and determination, are all that you need to succeed. I believe that you can accomplish all your personal and financial goals if you put your mind and your heart into it. There's 4 things that you need to commit to. 4 commitments. You need to get in the game. You need to follow your company's system. You need to be prepared for a marathon, not a sprint. And you need to take massive and immediate action. Massive and immediate action. Okay, so getting in the game means plugging in is not optional if you want massive success. You got to show up to go up. That means you're attending this thing. You're attending all the online Zooms. You're going to all the local meetings. You're going to the national events. You're going to the trainings, the webinars, the conference calls. You're there, okay? You're showing up. You got to show up to go up. That's the truth. Follow your company's system. Get a system and use it. Follow the system provided by the company. Do not go out and try to reinvent the wheel. There's no need to. You've already got a system. Somebody's already blazed the trail for you. In this case, myself, Christine, Chris and Susie, you name it. You're paid to imitate, not create. You are paid to duplicate and imitate, not to create a bunch of stuff. You don't need to waste your time doing that. Be prepared for a marathon. Make a commitment to see the job through to the end. The biggest hurdle between you and success will be your lack of commitment, and that is the truth. The biggest hurdle is your lack of commitment. Take massive and immediate action. The most successful people in the world are those who take what they learn and immediately put that into action. Now is the magic word of success. Now, now, now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year, someday. Or those are all synonyms for never, never, someday, next week. No, that's never. I love it. Oh, sure, $34.95. I'll sign up for that website. I'll buy a welcome pack when I get paid next week. Never happens. Okay, there's one or two cases where that happens, but 99% of the time, they do not go out there and buy a welcome pack in 2 weeks. They either commit now because they have the lowest level of belief when they start out. When they first start, they're excited, but they have low level of belief. They've got to get that welcome pack now and commit to the products. Number one, product of the product. If they don't, you might as well forget it. You're wasting your time, and they're wasting $35. You might as well just go out and buy yourself a McDonald's couple of dinners or something. I don't know. Okay? I'm sorry, that's my opinion. It's much easier to build a team quickly than to build a team slowly. Much easier to build a team quickly than it is to build it slowly. Okay? The difference between winners and losers. The difference between winners and losers is commitment. Winners understand commitment. There's no number of how-tos that will help you. I'm getting through this. No number of how-tos. You can how-to yourself to death. How-to this, how-to that. Watch all these how-to videos. But if you're not committed, you might as well forget yourself. Focusing on the actions is not enough. It's the commitment behind the actions that keeps those actions in place long enough for the individual to be successful. Okay? You must you must continue to tell yourself that all the meetings and all the webinars and all the appointments that you set and all those business presentations that you're doing are going to be worth it. Pay the price. What kind of price are you going to pay for financial freedom? His first big turning point was the national convention that he almost didn't go to. He almost didn't go. Made up some excuses. How many people have I heard tell this type of a story? Oh, I don't need to go to that thing. That's going to be a lot of money. You know, just a bunch of people cheering and hollering. Somebody canceled at the last minute. He was able to go. He got a ticket. I still remember where I was sitting, according to him, as I watched the top money earners walk across the stage. And I remember sitting there along with the thousands of other associates thinking, I'm supposed to be on that stage, man. I left the event with a resolve like none that I had ever experienced. I made a decision that I would never again be sitting in the audience at a major event. In this case, sit on the floor. You're going to be sitting on the floor if you're a jewel, right? I don't know where you will be when your turning point comes. Who knows where that will be? But I do know that when you make that commitment, everything will change for you. When you draw your line in the sand and then you step across it and you go all in so far that you can't turn around and go back. You draw that line and you step across it and you are so far in that you would have to run thousands of miles to go backwards, right? 5 pre-game steps to success. Get with your sponsor, get enrolled. Okay, you make the decision. You contact your sponsor. You don't expect your sponsor to contact you and track you down. Okay, get your website set up. All websites are usually the same. They look just like each other website. Get it set up with your little things that you need on it. Become your own first customer. Be a product of the product. Get on your products. Get one outside customer. Your first outside customer should be the one person in your life that is the most interested in helping you succeed. Maybe your spouse, your best friend, your sister, your brother. Know your why. We know that this is the biggest thing because I train on this like crazy. I can teach you how to do the business, but you must know why you're doing it. If you are not motivated by a strong why, you will not stay the course and you will not see the job through. Your why should be so compelling that you personally, that you fear failure more than you fear any other obstacle or person. Your why has to be so compelling that you personally fear failure more than you fear any obstacle or a person. Learn as you earn. Learn it by doing. Don't think you've got to learn everything before you get started. Get in the game and start learning as you earn. Proclaim yourself. Be proactive. Okay? When you're proactive and you say, hey, what's the next thing I need to do? I'm coachable. Okay, coach, let's hear. What's the first thing I'm supposed to do? What's the next thing? Okay, I got that done. What's the next thing? That's music to your sponsor's ears. Right? Show up. Tell them that you're ready to go. Tell them to give you an assignment. Get after it. Ask for the next one. That's music to their ears. Tell your sponsor what your story is, what's your why. Tell them you're ready to get this done. Ask them to help you share the information with your first new prospects because you don't know what you're talking about. Let them do it. And you can sit by and watch them in action and learn how to do it. Once you're ready, then you can take over. Now you're ready to embark on your own, developing your skills as we discuss in the pages ahead. And I have just finished that second chapter in record time. Wow. Okay, I am going to go over this homework thing because look, oh my word, what did I say? I love this. It's powerful. I've got to read it. Okay, don't just read this book. Be the type of person who applies it. Pause and go back a few pages and complete the 5 pre-game steps to success outlined in this chapter. Number 2, write the word, always get out a sheet of paper and write something at the top, right? Write the word commitment at the top of the blank paper. Look the word up in the dictionary and write down the definition. What does commitment mean? I should have done that. Should have done. That's an English word, right? Should have done. I should have done that. At least I didn't say I should have did that. I'm sorry. I'm kind of getting crazy now. Next, imagine for a moment someone who is totally committed to your chosen business. What would that person look like? Oh my gosh. How would that person act? What would that person do? What would that person say or read? How would he or she talk or interact with others? What energy level would that person have? How would that person dress at the meetings? How would that person carry himself or herself? And I knew the next thing he was going to say, now be that person. Now be that person, right? Yes, you need to be the rock star. Describe your rock star, then be that person. You got to be your own rock star first. And once you are your own rock star, you're going to start attracting rock stars. So decide that you will be that fully committed person. Why not fully commit? Why not become a top money earner right now? Decide to do that. Why not be the one that everybody talks about? Why not be the person who inspires other people? Why not? Okay, and then we are done. We are done. Can you believe that? I'm going to unmute. We've got 10 people on here. Who do we have? Oh, we've got the wonderful regulars. Unmute. Here we are. Let's do the gallery. Hello, Miss Willingham. It's good to see you. Hello, Miss Wise, Miss Bruce, Miss Mary, Miss Janet. I talked to Lori and Kelly and Susie and Angela before. And Miss Frankie. What'd y'all think? I finished it up quick. I didn't think I was going to get that second one done. Questions, reflections?
I think this was just driving home a lot. I mean, this is like Plexus 101.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Totally. It's everything that's in our training manual.
Mm-hmm.
But just in a little bit of a different form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's that you've already instilled in us.
Uh-huh.
So just kind of reiterating, what you've already kind of taught us already.
Mm-hmm. I felt like I was a little bit preaching to the choir when I was talking about hard work.
Or Plexus Church.
Mm-hmm. I was already preaching to the choir because you guys already work hard. I don't need to preach that to you. You're showing up to this call every Monday night. It's the people that are not showing up to the call that, need the people that are going to watch the video maybe later that, granted they might not have the capability of being on Monday nights, but it's going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that obviously anything that is in this book is going to help you, but this one particular talk, I felt like that was talking too much about something you're already doing.
I mean, I'm pretty bad, especially in school, with procrastinating, getting my work done. So I do need to do a little bit better on that, but just in that realm in school. But yeah, I try to do all my Plexus stuff every day because I'm into the Plexus. I don't, school's like, okay.
I know, I can't imagine.
Hey, Suzanne, I have a question. You were talking about in your training about getting the product in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
So can you elaborate a little bit more? I mean, that's something like I try to do too, if they're people that I know.
If you can afford it,
yeah.
I will say this, there were times, guys, there's times where you just can't afford it. I mean, I've been there. I was a brand new ambassador. We had 2 paychecks, a teacher paycheck and another paycheck that was just about the same. Okay. And my husband didn't want me spending money out of our own personal account. So I couldn't buy samples for quite a while. Okay. They're just good to buy my own products and I needed to be on those products. So, buy the samples if you can. Get the samples every month and make it a point to get them in the hands of people. And if you have to, and I'm not saying, it's up to you to use your discretion as far as selling them or giving them away. But if this is somebody like what I'm talking about, this friend of mine, she's not going to ever ask me. I'm going to have to knock the door down a little bit. So I'm going to have to shove the product in the hand here. I'm going to shove that product in her hand. Say, girl, you're going to take this because it's free and it's going to make you feel amazing. Don't worry about what's in it. It's all natural. It's going to work. Don't worry about it. Trust me, it's all from plants. Just drink your water. Tell me how you feel. Get it in their hands. If you can afford to buy samples, and I could not afford to do this, guys. I swear I couldn't. I had to go months and months and months without doing it. I will be honest with you. Okay. You ready to hear this one? Oh, and I know you can't all do this. I just bought my husband, my trainer and his wife, a 30-day supply of Slim and Edge and X Factor. Both of them with 2 shakers and 2 water bottles. Because guess what? I want them bad. I want them in my business because he's incredible and she's a nurse. Oh my gosh, they would be great. And she needs it bad. And so does he. He's got back pains like crazy and he can't wait to have some of it go away. And she just had a baby and she knows everything and she's studying to be a nurse practitioner and she has no time and she needs to have some relief. So I did that for them. Now, does that mean, and I did it with the full knowledge that they might not sign on with me. So I did it immediately knowing that, okay, we're going to get the PV and that's about it if they don't buy it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, you have to decide. Like the other day, I did mailings for samples. I'll just tell you what I did. Now, that doesn't mean that this is always going to work. It's worked sometimes, but it has worked not sometimes. For example, I'll get out there on Facebook and I'll say, I got a bunch of samples in. Who wants one? I'm going to do a drawing. I'll draw tonight at such and such time. I usually do it on a Saturday when everybody's on their phone looking at whatever, Facebook, or a Friday or something like that. and whoever, and it says, message me, I want one. If you want to privately message me, I want one, or comment in the comments. Little do they know, when I don't ever do the drawing and put it online. I stopped doing that. I now treat every person as if they won the drawing, because I know that they're interested in. And I always say, must have never worked with an ambassador before and never tried the products. That's a prerequisite. And I always say, oh my gosh, you won. Guess what? Oh my gosh, you get a free sample. I can't wait for you to try Plexus. Well, I've got 3 more people or 5 more people that are getting ready to try the products. And I just mailed out a whole buttload the other day, just like a week or so ago. And, you know, I got a girl who I've been working on for a year and a half. I mailed her a 7-day trial. I literally spent that money because I want her. I want her on my team. Now, here's the thing, though. I just texted her the other day. I just said, hey, how's it going? What's going on in life? She told me she's working at home now. And I said, well, are things calmed down enough to where you can just try this? Yeah. Okay, well, then send me your address. I want you to try it. Okay, well, now has she started yet? I said, tell me you're going to start this. I'm going to put you in the Monday 7-day challenge. See what I mean? Okay, but I'll tell you something. You ready to hear this story that's amazing? Chris Jones in Michigan, 2 months after I started, I literally gave her a 3-day trial. She waited a couple of months to start it. Once she did, I took her a couple of weeks to tell me what she thought about it because she wouldn't answer my text. Finally, she told me, she's like, oh my gosh, Suzanne, I love this stuff. I've got to get on it. And so she ordered a welcome pack. She started. She sponsored Heather McBride. Heather McBride sponsored Frankie, who's on this call right now. And Frankie has Tracy and that whole team in North Carolina. And that's over a girl that I just gave a 3-day trial. I just gave it to her. She didn't buy it. I was talking to her off of a, what do you call it? Sales site on Facebook. Okay, now does that the story with, no, I have some that I've mailed back and they just won't ever talk to me. Okay, and these are people that I have talked to and talked to and talked to, and we formed a conversation, and then I've mailed something to them and then they won't answer me anymore. I don't know what the deal is. You know, you can't predict what they're going to do, but if you can afford to do that, then by all means, think about if you get a diamond on your team and you've given out some 3-day trials, like say you've given out 4 or 5, no, let's say you've given out 25 or 30 3-day trials and one of them turns into a diamond. Don't you think that was worth it? I mean, but then again, you have to consider your personal finances. You have to consider where you're at.
Yep.
But get the products in the hands of people, and it changes lives. They'll see how amazing it is. One of them just texted me back the other day that I sent back. She's like, oh my God, Suzanne, I swear, and I've heard this a million times. I just cleaned my whole house. 3-day trial, and I just cleaned my whole house. My son was trying to steal some drinks of it. I wouldn't let him have it. She's like, I swear I don't have the money right now, but I'm going to find it now. Boom, chakalaka. That's what you want to hear. See, they have no value until they're on the products. Once they're on the products, they have value, and now they're going to get on. They're going to find the money when they see the value. They'll find the money. They say, I'm broke. I don't have any money. Try the products. Wow, I love it. Oh, I'm going to find the money. And I just gave her a 3-day trial. In fact, when I was mailing it out, 7-day or 3-day, 7-day or 3-day. Nope, 3-day. I did that. That's what I was saying.
Oh, you cracked me up.
Anybody else have questions? I'm sorry. I feel like I take over the whole thing and I never let you all talk.
But we're learning.
I hope that other people listen to this. You know, the first one that we had was 45 views on YouTube, and these have had like 13. All the ones after that, 13 and 14. But oh well, you know, it is what it is. Is there anything I can do for anyone here? Is there anything you need?
A mechanic.
Lost you. Oh, here.
A mechanic.
Laundry.
I have 3 broke down cars at my house.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That is what it
When it
is.
rains, it pours. It comes in threes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what. Well, I'll tell you what, if nobody else has any questions or whatever, it is, I'm sure, really late. It's 10:20 out on the East Coast. Unless you have any more things you want to say.
No, but I'm going to try that drawing, I think.
You're going to try that drawing? Mhm.
Yes.
Now, what I've done is I've done the drawing, and I've really done the drawing. But the drawing thing is to see who's watching you, who's watching
Right.
you, who's ready to think about trying. And so when they say, I want one, I want one, I want one, or they message you, you know that they've been looking at it and they're thinking about it. So you get to kind of see who your prospects are, and now you can work with them a little bit more.
Yep.
I've started doing one once a month. I've started
Yeah, do
doing
it
one.
once a month, at least once a month. Yeah, I wouldn't do it more than that.
I did. I just posted, kind of like Tracy did a month or so ago, about like I have 5 packs of Slim that I'm giving away. You know, who wants to try it before you really try it, you know, just to taste it. And I think I've had 4 or 5 that messaged me. I posted it on my husband's page as well. So one of his friends and a few of mine. So
You know what? I've made it to Senior Ruby, and I've never had Slim cards. You know what the Slim cards are?
Yeah.
They sell them on myplexusprint.com, which is free shipping. I think I got 250 of them for like $39 or less. Maybe it was like $29. I forget. But anyway, they're postcard size. On one side, it says all the ingredients and what it does. On the other side, it says something. It's got your name and address and all that junk printed on it. You know, your website and everything. It just prints on there. And you stick a Slim on there, and you carry those around with you. And instead of just giving your business card, because it has all your information for your business card, you give them a sample with it's one stick. And, you know, that's brilliant. Angela's been doing it forever, and I just got around to doing it. Instead of feeling like you've got to get, like, I'll start talking to somebody that really needs it and doesn't have the money, but they really want to try it. And I'll end up just giving them a 3-day trial that I've got on me, or a 7-day if I've got one on me. And I don't care, you know, at this point I can do that. But the fact is the stick of Slim is just, here, try this. And also when somebody's out and about and you feel like they've done something amazing for you, or they've given you this incredible service, instead of saying, here's my business, would you be interested in doing it? Here, let me give you a present. See, you've got a gift to give them now, and you can give them a stick of Slim. I want you to have some energy tonight. You've been working your tail off. Drink this with a big old glass of water and da-da-da. But here's the thing I like to have is, are you on Facebook? Just get their Facebook. And if they don't have a Facebook, how about an email? Give me an email. I'll send you some information about this. And don't say anything else, but you can give them a gift instead of saying, here's my business card. Because it's like you're asking them for something when you give them your business card. But if you can give them a gift, it's so nice. They love that.
yeah, Heather had bought some that don't have her address on it, so she gave them out to some of the team, you know, or whatever, here and there. She gave me some. So that's a good idea. I've just been giving it to people that I know that need it, you know. Right, but yeah, that's a good idea to take into public with you.
Have them ready like you got your business cards. And when somebody just is so sweet to you and you're checking out at the grocery store, and are you exhausted? You look like you are so tired. How long have you been standing here? Oh, girl, I've been here for like 30 hours, you know. Well, here, you know what? I just want to bless you. You're incredible. This will make you feel really bad and really great. And it's all plants. It's all natural. It doesn't have any stimulants in it. And, you know, just put this in 16 ounces of water, shake it up, drink it cold. I like it cold. And drink it tomorrow. You're going to feel so amazing. But you know what? If you're on Facebook, maybe I can ask you what you thought about it. Are you on Facebook? Maybe I can ask you what you thought about it. Get on Facebook with them. Oh, yeah, I'm on Facebook. 95% of the time, people don't want to say, oh, no, I'm not going to get with you on Facebook. They're not going to do that. They'll say, oh, yeah, I'm on Facebook. If they're not on Facebook, how about your email? I want you to tell me what you thought about it. You know, what's the best way to contact you? Facebook or email or whatever. Facebook is the way to do it, because that way you can always contact them. Miss Janet, you have your hand raised. Yes, ma'am. And she can't talk with us. Did you type something in? Okay, can't hear you. I'm sorry. You want to type it in? Okay, I'm sorry. I feel bad. Anybody else want to say something or?
I say,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Angela.
I'm just gonna be a little bit vulnerable. Saturday was a horrible. Was it Saturday or was it Sunday? It was a. I
Both.
guess it was. It was Saturday.
Mm.
It was a horrible day. It was so bad that I was crying like I was 3 years old, literally.
I knew you were. I felt
You
bad.
know, one of those moments where you had the. Yeah, that was me. And I've been sitting here at Gold for almost 2 years, or I've been with Plexus for almost 2 years. And when you said tonight that going quick is easy, but going long is very hard, yeah, it's very long and it is very hard. But, my journey is my journey, and I'm learning to enjoy the journey, because I can assure you, Suzanne, there is absolutely no way that I would have learned all that I am learning right now if I wasn't digging in the trenches and just really fighting it really hard. And so, seriously, you guys have to get a running buddy. You got to get someone to listen to you. You got to get someone who will be there and just hear you out, because you're going to have bad moments. If you haven't had one yet, you will.
True.
Thanks for
this team
sharing,
is crazy.
Angela.
We sponsored 104. I'm going to turn off the recording. That was great. And we're going to talk about the regular stuff.